The Rey movie is back in the headlines, and not for reasons that will make Star Wars fans any happier. How much longer can this go, Kathy? How much lower can Star Wars possibly fall? Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, the director of the Rey movie, says that Star Wars, that's right, all of Star Wars, circles around one character. Not Luke, not Anakin. Folks, yeah, it's Rey. Hello, folks. Happy day and welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we are having a good time no matter what, no matter where we are in life, and we hope you are doing the same. Sad times come, but folks, we're always jolly right here and happy to have you on board as we explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve. And folks, it's another dreary day of Star Wars right here, as yes, they have stepped in it yet again. No, the Star Wars story is not about Luke. No, it's not about the Chosen One. No, it's not about Anakin. No, it's not about Darth Vader. No, it's not about any of those things. It is Palpatine's grandchild, Rey. That's what it's all about, of course, because she is a woman. That's all you need. All you need is femininity. All right, folks, but she's not very much of that. Anyway, we love Daisy Ridley. We don't care for this character, though. Written very poorly, and that's admitted, we think now. We think folks who made this character and tried to take her across 3 movies did a terrible, awful job. Let it go. Let it be. Let it be. Well, folks, let's bring on the panel. We'll tell you what's going on with the latest Star Wars news. All right, well, let's get to a movie that is unlikely to have any skin whatsoever, and that is this Rey movie, folks. Many of us thought that it might be going away, but Rey is here to stay. Here's what we've got out of thatparkplace.com by the one and only John Trent. Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy claims Rey Skywalker is the heart of Star Wars and implies the film will continue to inject feminism into Star Wars. Says director Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, who has been announced to direct the upcoming Rey film featuring Daisy Ridley, recently shared more details about the project and heavily implied it will inject even more feminisms into Star Wars because the Acolyte just isn't enough. Speaking with Variety about her upcoming Diane von Furstenberg documentary, Obaid-Chinoy detailed what attracted her to the film. The story that interests me most is in Rey's journey as a female Jedi. That's how I can best bring my experiences to it. She went on to detail who she hopes to attract to this movie. She says, the greatest thing about Star Wars is that everyone has a personal connection to it. Everyone is passionate about it. And throughout the fandom, people have clear ideas about who should direct or what the story should be about. I'm just drowning out those voices until I'm done. Oh, good grief. As a storyteller, I'm focused on drawing new moviegoers into the cinema and bringing a sense of nostalgia that will appeal to older fans of the series. Okay, she ends better, but saying that people are passionate about this franchise and you're going to drown them out until you get this thing done, that's probably not the best opener, I would say. Guys, am I being harsh? And by the way,
I see it as saying something entirely different.
Miss Marvel. Go for it, Lou. What do you got?
She's saying you don't have to be a lesbian witch to love Star Wars and be a woman, and she has had a desperate attention deficit problem with Leslie Headland. I used to be the hot radical girl on this block. Who the hell are you to steal my thunder and have your show stink? She's saying, mine won't stink like yours does, honest, and it'll still be the Force is female. I mean, why is she suddenly showing up right at the time that all of the press exposed and advanced episodes have run out and everybody's in the dark about what's coming next, but everybody agrees it's going to get worse?
So this is not the time you would. You're exactly right. Why would she want to step into it right now with the Acolyte absolutely bombing and doing so in the same vein that she apparently wants to make this movie? John, are we missing something? Is there a key ingredient here that we don't understand? Is she actually moderating from where she was?
I don't think so. I mean, I guess you can make that argument. I mean, she's still saying I think she puts the emphasis that she wants to make a female Jedi, and that's kind of where I kind of hit on. Like, why wouldn't she just say Jedi? But she clearly makes it about female Jedi. Obviously, I think reiterates the fact that we've seen all this evidence from Kathleen Kennedy that she's trying to actively change who watches Star Wars, who's behind it, who's creating it, and turn it into kind of this feminist property that just hasn't worked out, that continued to do this. And all it does is continue to lose viewers, lose customers, etc. So I don't think she's kind of moderated her comments at all.
So what was up with the pause then, John? Why did she pause? Why did she go silent for like 6 months? What was up with that?
Well, I think that she's just back kind of on the trail now, right? So she's back. She's got this new documentary out, and she's talking to all these outlets to promote it, and they don't really care about her documentary. I don't think they just care about the Star Wars. And that's why they're all asking her about Star Wars.
I think they told her to shut up. I think they said, we don't want to distract attention from this fantastic thing called the Acolyte. We need it to be a success. And if people say, well, there's somebody else who would have done it differently who's still prominent, that might be a problem. And now that it's not a success, and clearly it won't be, they can't say, well, screw it. This one's dead. We'll go on to yours in an obvious way. But that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to really kind of make that argument because we saw kind of Daisy Ridley come out and she's been doing the talking about it like pretty consistently. Obviously,
but consistently saying she hasn't read a script and there isn't one.
Right.
That's the problem with that.
But she's still kind of been talking about it though, and pros asking about whether or not why she's been quiet. So I don't think there's any kind of direction because obviously we also saw Kathleen Kennedy like tell the New York Times. Go after the fans in the New York Times piece. We've seen Leslie Headland do the same thing. So it doesn't really make sense that they would kind of tell Charmin to like cut it out when like Kathleen Kennedy and Leslie Headland are just going full bore. That doesn't really compute for me.
Let's get this quote from her. It says, "At the heart of it for me is Rey Skywalker, is Daisy Ridley and her story and taking her on an adventure to a Jedi Academy and sort of creating a world that is a natural dovetail to the story that we've seen her go through the last 3 episodes. And working with Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy and the team over there and breathing life to characters that everyone loves and has fallen in love with, and finding new characters that the next generation of moviegoers will fall in love with as well." Oh boy. I thought we were done with these new generations. Apparently we're going to do more of that. Let's hear what she has to say, folks. We'll give her a moment to speak with her own voice, and then we'll get some commentary.
Sometimes you walk in the footsteps of people and giants who've created worlds. And in the case of Star Wars, George Lucas's world and the filmmakers that have walked in his footsteps have set this world that they want young viewers to sort of walk into and have an understanding of the world. And at the heart of it, for me, is Rey Skywalker, is Daisy Ridley and her story.
Okay. I struggle to imagine how it's anyone's, if Star Wars circles around anyone, it's Anakin. Yes. It just has to be it's just the case. The whole thing is about Anakin and Luke. I don't know. And Leia, by the way. And
well, no. What does that say? That the entire Skywalker saga at this point is about the granddaughter of Emperor Palpatine, who is more powerful than any other Jedi that has ever come before, and that she's all of the Jedi, including, and powerful enough to beat all the Sith? Or is it about Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, and family, which, by the way, family not brought up in any legitimate way in the sequel trilogy. Anytime that family is brought up, it's about divorce, abandonment, murder. In
other words, the good news is it's about family. The bad news is it's the Gambino family.
I think the Gambino family was more closely tied before all that happened.
All right, the Corleones then. But listen to her. Doesn't she? We've seen her before go wild, but now she's playing the grown-up in the room. She's all but saying, well, those television people, but we're the motion picture division, and we do things based on this fabulous world. And George, and gosh, aren't we the grown-ups in the room? Because she knows that if, as many have said, including I think everybody in this room, Star Wars is dead with the Acolyte, well, what's she? An Undertaker? Is her movie going to be? I mean, really?
No, I agree with you.
She's got a lot on the line here, and she has to make people think, well, that's those crazy gay Harvey Weinstein division. We're the grown-ups.
Listen, episode 4.
Forget all the stuff I did that said otherwise only a few months ago.
Episode 4, if we are to believe Variety, episode 4 of The Acolyte, its viewership is lower than the Jurassic Park cartoon for preschoolers on Netflix. That's how bad this is. Bridgerton is pulling in something like 15 times more viewership than The Oh, and Bridgerton has the audience that Star Wars has been chasing now for 15 years. So how's that going?
Right.
I'm sure
Let's
Ray
be
will do
specific
fine.
about that. That Bridgerton is the female audience that they've been trying to convert the Star Wars audience into the same female audience that watches Bridgerton. You could do okay, maybe Bridgerton isn't generic or whatever. I don't know enough about the show to really comment on it, but it's not really breaking the mold as far as a soap opera set in the Regency era. There's some race blind casting in there, but for the most part, it's just intrigue and drama and people cheating on each other.
Blind casting. I think
Well,
they very clearly...
supposedly, yeah. I'm race blind in quotes. But they're not breaking the mold over there with Bridgerton, honestly. It's from what I understand, pretty standard. And
it's a PBS show on Netflix.
But in Hot People in Love is general. Well, in some of the pictures I've seen, maybe not so hot people in love as well. For $200 million, they keep trying to beat the audience into submission and turn them into women. So in some ways, this is the same thing that the Walt Disney Company is doing to in their children's entertainment. It's just not going to work. Stop trying to reinvent Star Wars into a girl brand. Acknowledge that it's a man's brand, and then hey, and also Rand, also do some female stuff and see if that works. Maybe do the female stuff in a way that is not insulting to the male audience.
If they want to do something like Bridgerton, they already have it there. George Lucas created it. It's called Naboo.
It's true. It's true. They could do a Naboo series and it wouldn't affect the rest of the Star Wars universe instead of this whole thing where they have to diminish. Sorry, the Acolyte, obviously. For those of you who aren't watching this show, which sounds like quite a bit, the Acolyte goes after the Anakin Skywalker's legacy. It goes after the Jedi Council. And in some ways, it goes after Yoda. I'm just tired of this. This woman is a decent filmmaker when it comes to documentaries. I just have no faith that she's going to produce an excellent Star Wars in the tradition of actual Star Wars.
Well, I'll just say, when it comes to the Acolyte, again, we could talk about the preschooler Jurassic Park. It's like Cretaceous Adventure or something, cartoon over at Netflix, and more people would know what are in those episodes than the Acolyte, because nobody's watching the Acolyte. And folks, we've come to the end yet again of another video of excellence. We hope you had a wonderful time with us. We consider it an honor every time we get to share our time with you. On the way out the door, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms, it's the notification bell, drop a comment right on down below. Let us know your thoughts. We care. We read them. Really, we do. And folks, continue to support, please, Vacation Radio. We are creating brand new original content all the time, a full team now devoted to that. We're taking everything, all the successes we have, and pouring it back into developing new things and doing bigger things. We are attempting to grow and be that force for good in new entertainment. Thank you so much, folks, for your support so far in everything we do. You're the gigawatts. All right, until we see you next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.